Painting for me, it's kind of like going to the gym. You have to force yourself to go. When you think about like, I have to paint, you don't want to do it. It takes so much effort to get to that point to make yourself paint, but then when you do it, you're glad that you did. Definitely my favorite type of art, I would say, is probably realism. So that's probably why I do it a lot. As much as I like doing portraits and sports portraits, I like more of abstract art. That's how I got into the acrylic pours. And I love them too. They're so pretty. They turn out so cool. I'm Kait Schoeb and I'm a painter. The commission that I have this week is a newly engaged couple, Rob and Callan. So they found me through social media. I'm gonna go check out their house and see what kind of draws my eye, and yeah, I'm excited and just kind of see what they want. Hi, Conan! Nice to meet you.
I'm Callan.
Hi. Some of the things I want to look for whenever I'm in the home is definitely color. That's the first thing that pops out in my mind. It's not something that you're focusing on of like figure-wise, but it's more of color.
We weren't really planning on house hunting because we had just gotten engaged and we just had a lot of planning and stuff to do, but this house popped up and he showed me these pictures, and yeah, this formal living room, like with the wainscoting details and like the white trim. Down here, this is our family room. This is kind of where we spend most of our time.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah. Putting this piece above the fireplace, kind of my thought with that was all the other elements in this space are super cozy and kind of neutral, muted tones. And I just love the idea of having a kind of juxtaposition of like modern and traditional.
So I kind of have an idea of what I wanted to do for you guys, especially since you had mentioned before, maybe modern. I don't know if you've ever seen acrylic pour paintings. They're clean and they're simple, but they're considered abstract pieces. Okay. Yeah, so how does that sound for you guys?
I think that sounds awesome.
Sounds
I'm
perfect.
super excited.
Sounds good.
Yay!
Thank you. I was drawing even whenever I was like 2 or 3 and always coloring that way. Nobody in my family draws or paints or anything like that. They've always known like, oh, Kait's talented, but they've also always known like Kait does what Kait wants to do. I actually got very lucky that they didn't care that I wasn't going to go to college. It was so expensive that it was kind of like, do I even need art school? My art teacher, she had told me too, she's like, hey, if you go to art school, they're gonna change you. Like, they're gonna change your style. And that freaked me out. It took me a long time to realize that maybe I didn't need art school, but maybe I needed business classes to show me what to do with the art instead of someone teaching me what I already know how to do. I felt really guilty for a long time, but it took me quite a few years to realize like, hey, you didn't go to school and it's okay. What Callan and I have talked about is she is more drawn to the abstract type of art, so I'm going to go with an acrylic pour. They're just really cool in how they flow and kind of remind me of oceany a little bit. And they have like really pretty lacing too, which gives it a really cool effect. So it's not gonna be too overwhelming for her space. Do you guys have white acrylic paint, like just like a jug of it? I really want to brighten the space downstairs too. So I'm going to leave white negative space, just a little bit, just so it isn't too overwhelming with the blue. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna mix it with water to thin it out. And we're gonna spread it all over the canvas, and that's what's gonna help make the rest of the paint flow instead of it being right on a dry canvas.
Just this for today?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Come again.
Thank you. The thing about acrylic pours, they're a lot of fun. They're very, very messy. for our base color, we don't put it in a pouring medium. I usually just do my color and then I usually put water in it as well. As long as you get that thin consistency that you want, I don't think it really matters too much of your ratio. As you can see, it's still chunky and we don't want that. Next, we're gonna mix what I thought was an absolutely perfect color was the blue. I absolutely loved their couch yesterday. And I also noticed that they had that same exact blue in their other room as well. And we're just gonna keep doing this until we get the consistency that we want. So if I feel that maybe it got too thin, it's all right, don't freak out. You can just add a little bit more paint, you can add some pouring medium, thicken it back up, then just start adding your water back in. So we're gonna start with our white paint, and then we're gonna move on to our blue, and then from there, we can either start layering our green over top of the blue, and then the brown on top of the blue. We can pretty much switch it up any way that we want. So let's start with our white, and we're gonna smear it all over our canvas. And just go all over. So just take a little guy like this, and we're just gonna start. I'm doing this so there's not too much paint in other areas. This will just help even out all of like my white base. So now I'm gonna take the blowtorch. This is just a small standard kitchen blowtorch. We're gonna use this to just start popping excess bubbles that we have on the surface of our white paint. I personally like a lot of negative space in my paintings. I'm thinking of probably having it go across like this, so that way your eye will be drawn through the length of it. I want your eye to go all the way across the room. Start over here, like that. I chose to do an acrylic pour for Robin Callan because I felt like they wanted that modern, abstract kind of style, but they also wanted a pop of color. And I really think that I can achieve that with the acrylic pour. If I have the white base, I really love that blue couch. We're gonna use that as our main color to flow throughout, and then I'm gonna add a few colors. We're gonna start blow drying, and the heat from the blow dryer, that's gonna make those cells from the silicone oil that we put into our paint earlier, that's really gonna make them expand and pop. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh my God, this looks so good. Now we have our blowtorch, and this is a very important step. You wanna get out all of the little bubbles from your paint that are on the surface. That's gonna create our cells as well, because when the heat reacts to the silicone oil that we put into our paint, that's where we're gonna get this nice lazy effect whenever we use this. It is starting to dry a little bit, which is a good sign, but I am getting a little nervous that it isn't going to dry in time, because this can take up to 48 hours for it to dry, because I need it to dry and then put my resin on, and then it can take a couple of days for the resin to dry at least. So I just wanna make sure that this dries as quickly as possible, so fingers crossed. I started my business in Pittsburgh about 10 years ago. The whole city was just completely great with my career and everything was going great. And then my husband is stationed in Seattle for the Navy. It was a huge risk of what's gonna happen to my business? Can I make it out in Seattle? My home base and my following is in Pittsburgh. I've been very blessed and it's been fantastic. I've been in Seattle for about a year now and then moved to Edmonds. Everyone has been so cool and just so willing to help me. So it's just been very, very beneficial too to also live in Edmonds, just knowing that I have people supporting me even though I'm not from here. So my career is just starting to pick up tread and it's going really well. resin is just a thick coating of almost kind of like a plastic kind of coating that's gonna protect and make your paint go from $10 to $1,000. This is super, super sticky too, so you definitely wanna make sure you're using gloves whenever you are pouring resin. Don't want your resin to start sitting. You wanna start spreading it around as soon as possible, because if you let it sit too long, it's not gonna be able to spread very well. There's a few little bubbles, so we're just gonna take our blowtorch and that's going to pop all the little bubbles, which is kind of one of my favorite parts of the process. So I know that you can't really see the flame right now, it's still warming up, but you can see that the heat is still popping all of those bubbles out of the resin, which is gonna give it a super smooth candy coating. All right, here we go to go drop it off. Hope they like it. Hi! Come on in.
Oh, I'm so excited to see it. Okay, well, let's head downstairs. Got the mantle all cleared off for you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, all right, you guys ready?
Yes. Oh, I love that. Perfect. It's exactly what I was
Those colors are
envisioning.
Exactly what we were hoping for.
Yeah, it came out really cool. It has like the corally kind of effect.
Yes,
and then
so
like over here it has like,
no, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I
I
like
love
how
that.
it's like glossy too.
yeah, so like that was the resin that we put on top, so it's not only gonna protect it, but it makes it like really like sleek looking too. That resin turned out really cool.
Yes, I love that gloss.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I
Yeah.
I don't think we can thank you enough with like this turnaround time and working with our schedules. Like
No, of course.
it just looks amazing. I just want to give you a hug.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I'm so
Thank
happy.
you so much.
Thank you. Just making people happy makes me so happy. That's honestly like the main reason why I do commission pieces is I love making people happy.